Hi, this is my second attempt at recording this. So I'm still in West Cork in Rock Island, and here's my easel. My palette is attached there with the butterfly screw. It's lodged underneath. I've got my shoes off, and somehow the video is turning me around, so it looks as though I'm left-handed, but I'm not left-handed, and it's not meant to flip, but I don't know why it's doing that. It's doing that anyway. So I'm just going to tolerate it. And I just fancy doing a little bit more to this portrait of Áine. I feel like being wild and free and loose with the watercolour, so let's see what happens. Okay, glad you've joined me. Thanks. Okay. You know, I'm going to put you back there for a minute, just because I think at the beginning, when I'm kind of taking ownership over the work again, I feel like it's involving more of the physical body, so I want you to see that process and not just feel like it's happening here. It's not all happening here. It's about working up to the mark. And yeah, there's a lot to be said for that, working up. So the first thing I noticed was that I wanted to introduce some deep dark tones there to the area where the hair is meeting the face. And I love injecting a little bit of something powerful into it early on, because it just straight away you're in there. Yeah. Okay. So this is ultramarine blue mixed with Van Dyke brown in order to make a nice dark. As soon as you put darks in here, it encourages you to also look at the darks in the top and just scooping up those in case they go running through the face. Oh, don't know how I'm doing that. Just wanted to get the direction of the hair going, pulling towards the top instead of the bottom. And now I'm going to use a similar tone, but I want to introduce some green in order to make a different colour but similar depth of tone. And I'm going to mix a colour that'll work for some of the clothes, some of the shoulders, the jumper on the shoulder, like down here. But I'll wait until it's upright again. So this is an opportunity for me to mix the colour and just enjoy the way the pigment is transported by the water. An opportunity to mix a deep enough tone, because with the dry weather the paint has dried a lot, and so I need to agitate it quite a bit in order to get the density of pigment that I want, so that it's almost like an Indian ink consistency. But you can see it's a different colour to the colour that I've used in the hair. And I think doing something deep in tone either end of the face will encourage me to bring the face up to a new level of contrast. You know, I'll be encouraged to deepen the contrasts in the face then as well. So there's a kind of a scooping up action, and then checking out what needs to be done. Breathing and just placing it down. I'm reaching for the 2-inch brush because I want to be able to make more of a statement. It's a good idea to vary the size of the brush marks in various parts of the painting too, so that nowhere does it feel like it's there's ever a kind of a uniform mark that's everywhere. I think variety keeps us interested. So selecting whatever brush will give a new exciting mark. And which will get you there faster, which I think is always a good thing. Once you've made your decision, you want to nail it as soon as you can. So I'm moving Áine out here so that I can more easily access that part of the shoulder. comes up quite a bit here and then in. Didn't really mean to put that splash all across her neck. Generally I would say not to rub the paper, but I'm not planning on painting over that too much, so I'm just lifting it off a little. So that, okay. I think I told you in the last video that we were listening to live music from Bantry, and this is no exception. This is still live music from Bantry. Paul is gone, so I don't know exactly who it is. Maybe music buffs there will recognise if it's Mozart or Beethoven or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's quite nice. Okay, right, for God's sake, let's get on. I think the cerulean blue up here would be an exciting thing to do. I know maybe some cadmium orange there in the bit of the hair that's kind of brighter. It's not bright in a dirty way, it's bright. Look. It's a nice clean orange warm bright that I'm after, so I'm going to put some cadmium red in. Cadmium red, orange. Let's go for something there. Don't know why, but it seems important to put something mahogany coloured up here. Might also be in there. Okay, and it'll dry a shade later, and maybe adjust it later on, but that's okay. Alright, now let's see. I'm going to begin introducing some of these darks around the area of the eye on the right hand side. You can probably sense this is one of those pocket ones where I'm kind of willing to just see what happens and thinking that maybe I won't show this video to anybody. But there's a lot to be said for trusting the process, and whatever it is that happens, trusting it to be just the right thing for now. It might just be that. Okay, so painting up to the edge, up to the light on the nose here, beyond by mistake. The shadow underneath the nose. Standing back regularly really helps to avoid any sort of filling in and blocking in every breathing space that's there. I'm going to deepen the tone in that other eye so that it gives me a license then to bring some darker tones in here, because that light is on the light side, but I don't want it to be much darker than this side because this is in the shadows. So I'm just going to, having made a red and green mix there, viridian green, cadmium red, I'm going to just let it occupy the space there so that it dulls down that general eye area. Yeah, it's still keeping a bit of light that's falling on the white of the eye there. And again, it'll dry later, so let's not panic. Okay, so viridian green, cadmium red. And now I'm going to focus more on this side. Viridian green, cadmium red, ultramarine blue is what's needed in there, I think, to deepen the tone and make it. And see if it's warm, it's going to kind of come forward. So I want it to recede there, that bluish colour. I'm going to bring the camera closer so you can maybe see what's actually happening on the painting. And then a deeper tone there. And actually some of that could be used here, couldn't it? Maybe finding, just looking, standing back so they can find the position of the iris on this side in relationship to the other one. And that just takes a kind of an indication, and then stand back. Does it read as though it's in the right place? And if it does, you can motor on. Or maybe sail on. In the spirit of the place here, we're sailing rather than motoring. Yeah, you know, this is an artist's retreat that Paul has set up in his home. It's a kind of a holiday home he has on Rock Island off the coast of Cork. And to me, it's just such a generous thing for somebody to do that, to open his home to creative people to just have time. And my God, it's been such a lovely holiday. There are such amazing views to, you know, I've spent, yesterday I went to Browhead and watched the sun go down. And it was just one of the most profound experiences of my life, I think. One of. And having my children was up there. 11 minutes, right. I need to get a clean piece of paper towel, but for now this will do. I just want to push the iris a little bit over that way. Because when I stood back, it seemed like it was too close to that side of the face. And so I wet it, and that's enough to let the pigment be lifted then with the paper towel. Okay. I'll travel down the face now and let the eye dry for a minute and just take the heat off the eye as well by focusing on somewhere else. I think the somewhere else is bringing in some sort of colour. The cadmium orange and rose madder makes that kind of a colour. And I want to bring in some of that into the skin between the face and the light on the nose there. This is also going to be given a value. Sometimes you just kind of want to do stuff without really knowing why. A lot of the time, actually. And in a way, saying the thing stops you wanting to do it. So, I'll maybe not talk too much now. And your runway is important. Clear a space for you to have a good runway. What am I doing here now? Maybe, yeah. So I still want to introduce a little bit more tone here. And my arms are getting a little bit sore, so I'm aware that I don't want to be pushing out. As soon as your body lets you know it's tired, it's kind of a gift, and just stop. Let your arm drop for a while. So standing back there, I reckon that it's necessary to give some value to the left side of the neck where the light isn't falling. I don't want it to be too dramatic a dark, so maybe I'll just make it a different colour. This is cerulean blue. And the reservoir of it is on there, so I can pull it around now. Just don't want it competing with the light that's on the face here. I'm not sure if that was a great idea. I'll put some alizarin crimson in, will I? Yeah, and some viridian green. And let's see what happens. So, this is the colour I'm looking at. For the shadow side of the neck there, and the paper's wet and it's got cerulean blue in it, so it'll do something in response to that, which might keep me interested. You want to be engaged, never bored. There's probably some great quote about boredom being the enemy of creativity or something like that, is it? Someone maybe said that, I'm not sure. But if they didn't, then I'll claim it. Right. Sometimes having work on two easels is really handy to alleviate that kind of feeling of boredom creeping in. As soon as you don't know what to do next, you can move to the other easel. And then when you come back, you'll have a fresh eye. And usually one, and sometimes both of the paintings are better for it. Better for being left alone for a while. Okay, so now that it's 15, I've got 2 minutes. And this causes me to want to do something in the area of the eye. So, true to form, I'm playing with the nose. Okay, eye, right. I've got my 1/4 inch brush now. See how that's a nice size for describing little parts of the eye area. And like yesterday I spoke about the dark of the upper lid being a really helpful dark, the upper eyelashes I mean, being a really helpful dark to find. So I'm going to make it with Viridian Green and Alizarin Crimson, and relating it to the other eye insofar as I can, and deciding where that's going to be. And then I'd probably stand back a little bit and just check it out. I find it necessary to deepen the tone in here in order to see really if this space is correct. Yeah, something like that needed to happen to pull the eye in or to fill that space so that the eye doesn't read as being too far to the right. And now I'm going to do something in the eye itself, in the iris itself, so that I can see again whether or not it's going to work there. So it's just putting something there that allows me to stand back and judge the position. Position is huge, like. Hugely important, I mean. When you stand back, you'll see other things that need to be given the same depth of tone, possibly. And it's good to draw away, take the heat off. What time is it now? Honest to God. So we've got like 20 seconds or something ridiculous. So what I'm going to do now is just crack off the edge off that so that it doesn't read it, so it's shooting up there. And then I'm going to say, this is Áine, saying goodbye from Rock Island, frantically trying to resolve that eye.